active in my life and in the universe. God the good.
Love that. And today we're going to hear from Tawney, our spiritual leader. Power versus Force Part 2. So if you didn't watch the last one, I believe you can find it online. It was pretty amazing. So looking forward to that. And today we have Rich, who's going to come up and read the daily word.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I realized this morning as I was driving here, it's been like 3 years almost to the day that was last October.
Mm.
What, it takes guts to come back? Is that it? Well, okay. So the word for today is appreciation. I'm going to give you a little insight. I'm probably going to speak too much. But when I was in ministerial school 35 years ago, one of the things that our the ministerial students did was we wrote a daily word to be published. And as I was reading this, I recognized that, the daily word sometimes is just the daily word and it's just words. But somebody actually spent a good deal of time putting this together. Some person worked at it and probably wrote 3 times as many words and then had to condense it into the words that are here. And so with that aspect of appreciating the person who wrote this, I invite you to just be still for a moment as we share the daily word. Appreciation. We express appreciation for all of our blessings. It has been said that what we appreciate appreciates. In other words, the more we give thanks for what we have, the more blessings we discover. Practicing appreciation in all circumstances helps us realize how abundantly blessed that we are. When we remember all the good that God is, that life is, more good is revealed to us. Taking a breath, and let's do that. Let's take a breath and say, thank you for life. And today, as we open our eyes and see visions of beauty and wonder, the sky, the trees, let us remember to give thanks for the clarity of our spiritual vision. And let us listen deeply to that voice within and give thanks for divine wisdom. And today, let us be mindful. Each bite of food, every sip of water, let us be mindful and feel grateful for our body and physical senses. There is so much to appreciate. From the small everyday things to life's most grand events. Giving thanks with our whole hearts brings us the experience of joy. Let us practice appreciation for all that we are, for all that we have, and for all that we are able to do. In Psalms it is written, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart, and I will tell of all the wonderful deeds of life. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Rich. So next is visitor recognition. And do we have anybody new here today for the first time? Mm-hmm. Right behind you. Anyone else? Now it's time to greet your neighbor. We're going to do this fairly quickly.
90 seconds.
Please stay standing. We're going to sing together.
All right, everybody. We're going to sing Thank You for This Day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This radiant, this radiant, this radiant 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 love. We're going to have you standing for another song. This one is a call and response with a little bit of a twist at the end. And then follow Rhiannon is gonna be the response. So follow Rhiannon, and I will try to be eloquent on the lyrics. Forget your perfect offering.
Forget your perfect offering.
Just sing a song that you can sing.
Just sing a song that you can sing.
There is a crack in everything.
There is a crack in everything.
That's how the light gets in. 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 Birds they sing at the break of day.
Birds they sing at the break of day.
Start again, I heard them say.
Start again, I heard them say.
Don't dwell on what has passed away.
Don't dwell on what has passed away.
For what
is
yet
to
be. For what is yet to be. For what
is yet
to be. For what is yet to be. For what is yet to be. For what is yet to be. Forget your perfect offering.
Forget your perfect offering.
Just sing a song that you can sing.
Just sing a song that you can sing.
There is a crack in everything.
There is a crack in everything.
That's how the light gets in. 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 Birds they sing at the break of day.
Birds they sing at the break of day.
Start again, I heard them say.
Start again, I heard them say.
Don't dwell on what has passed away.
Don't dwell on what has passed away.
For what is yet
to
be. For what is yet to be. For what is yet to be. For what is yet to be. For what is yet to be. For what is yet to be.
Thank you. Thank you guys. We are so grateful all of our musicians are here. What a blessing you guys are for us. Okay, Jeff's going to do meditation. Nope.
No, you hold on later. There's an inside joke here. I'll tell you later. All right. Rich, thank you for reading. I felt like I had meditation already this morning. Thank you. Okay, so if you all just get yourself seated, feel the comfort of your chair, your feet on the floor, just feel yourself supported. But I want you to imagine that you're standing at the ocean's edge. There's that quiet vastness, the relentless power of the waves. And you're standing there on the edge barefoot. Each wave you feel the crash of the water against your ankles and that pull of the sand from beneath your feet. At times it can be almost unsettling. But there's a trust in the rhythm. There's a trust in the repetition. No matter what you do, you can't change the rhythm of the ocean. You can't change the power of the waves. Let yourself take you back to a time Maybe it was a time of early discovery as a child. Do you feel that sensation? And then there's that moment, that ever brief moment of calmness before the next wave. It's the water. The foam. The mist. Just allow yourself to feel the presence of that moment. Let's just all take a breath together. Bringing us back to this space, this time. Thanking the divine for the opportunity, for the memory, for the sensations, and all that we possess to give us the ability to go back to those times, remembering those opportunities. And may the presence of this moment be a continuing opportunity for understanding, compassion, empathy, wisdom, experience. May what we do today be a ripple into the world, in our community, in our lives of peace, joy, and kindness. Amen. And so it is. At a moment there where I remembered the first time as a child going to the ocean. And as a child, you look at the pictures and you have this anticipation of what the ocean's going to be. But my first experience, I lived in California, the Central Coast of California. At the time when we went, it was cold. And in the area, that first experience of beach, there was all this seaweed and slimy stuff washing on shore. It was hardly the experience of being on an ocean or being on a beach where it was relaxing like it was in the magazines or the TV, right? It's like, well, what is this? This isn't what I expected. And the water was cold, so I couldn't even really stand in the water very long because my feet would get cold. Before I get into my talk, I want to recognize yesterday there was a group of us, including some folks from South Hill, that participated in the Pride event, Pride Festival. I want to thank David and Kimmy and John for being there during that time, helping set up and tear down. We thought we would be done at 4, and we were over. They said, no, it's over at 6. Let me tell you what, that extra 2 hours felt like a day. Chris and Marilyn were there. Chris was playing in a band. Yeah, there were so many experiences from that. And David and I were talking after on the drive, and David was sharing with me that the reason why he stayed there and the reason why he wanted to be involved with that is he's never really experienced Spokane. That he's been here, he's lived here for so long, but he's never got himself engaged in the experience, what it means to live in Spokane and to experience these things. And, you know, he could have went for a couple hours and then did my time and off I go. But he chose to be there throughout the whole day to have the full experience. And, I won't get into everything because there was a lot that happened yesterday, a lot of great things that happened in being a part of that. I think it's important for us, we have these opportunities to be in community, to hold a presence, to hold a space for what's going on. And there are people that are in the knowing, and there's people that are curious. And we have the opportunity to be in those places, whether we agree with what's going on or not. We still have an opportunity, we still have the capacity to be in that space and be a light. We had a couple of people, Kimmy, and I want to call Kimmy out on something because when Kimmy first came here in October, November, and we had a conversation, and you guys all know that she's like, well, I don't really know how I want to participate. And I said, well, we have a need for platform assistance. And she's like, oh, no. I'm like, you're speaking in front of people. No, that's not what I'm going to do. That's so far from who I am. And then she thought about it, and she messaged me, and she said, you know, I think I'm resistant to it, but I think that's why I need to do it. So I'm going to step into that, and I'm going to take a step and step into what that means. And so yesterday, if you could have saw her, there's people coming up, and she's got the little cards. Hi, are you familiar with Unity? And let me tell you about Unity. And she's just engaging with people, and I mean, like, oh my gosh, I thought she was selling Amway or something. It was crazy. No offense against anybody that sells Amway. I don't mean that. But I mean, she was very passionate and very engaged in what was going on. And a couple of times she's like, oh, you need to meet Jeff. You know, we would have these exchanges. But so I said to her later, I was like, man, you're on it, you know. And she goes, you don't understand. This is so far out of who I was that now I'm in this place of like, I would have never done that. So had I not stood up here and braved becoming a platform assistant, I would have never taken that step. And it's just amazing to see that growth and be a part of that growth and to experience that. And and then just Everybody, and there's a story to tell also at some point. I'm going to wait till I have the permission to share it. But there's another story here that's developing in confidence and courage, and that I'll share. But anyways, okay, so power versus force, part 2. There was so much, and I could probably do a part 3 and 4 of power versus force. And starting this talk, there was a lot of questions. Oh, there's my other pair of glasses. I'm like my grandfather with my hats. I got glasses everywhere. And so I've had some really interesting conversations with some of you about power versus force and what is it, you know. So I thought that the ocean was a great example of power, but it does have a force to it, right? Like the actual ocean just doesn't sit there in its power. It has movement, and it has something that creates change. Not just by the fact of you just sitting there, but it has other things that are happening too. Now, force would come in if I wanted to try to step into that and change it, right? I'm stepping into the ocean's power, and I'm going to try to force something on the ocean that it's not natural for it. The ocean knows who it is. It's powerful, it's life, it's eco, it's environment. It's been what it is for thousands of years. So for me to try to step in and go, nope, I'm going to try to hold the ocean back, ain't going to happen. Is not going to happen. And so when we talk about power versus force, we look at these things, the power of love, of truth, of unity, of compassion, the power of courage, of integrity, and the power of consciousness against a force of fear, hate, control, violence, intimidation, destruction, separation. We all see the power in a protest. But it's when that protest becomes a riot and the violence comes in that all of a sudden that protest, the power of that protest loses its meaning, because now it's no longer a protest. It's no longer peaceful. There's violence associated with it. And the opportunity for that protest has now been lost, because people don't remember the protest, they remember the violence. In force, we experience things out of fear, control. But in power, in power, we don't see, we have. We possess it. We embody it. It's a part of who we are. Love, truth, as I said. One of the most famous lines in movie history is, "Use the Force, Luke." And we see in that movie this process in which the Yoda is teaching Luke what it means to be a Jedi, right? And so there's this whole thing that goes on in which Yoda is teaching Luke how to use the Force. Well, the Force that he uses is a result of the knowledge, the wisdom, the self-control that he has. It's not because he has something like extreme power. Oh, thanks, Chris. Yeah. It's not. I appreciate that. It's because of what he embodies that he's able to utilize this force to do things. Some of Yoda's lessons include a Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense. A Jedi faces the truth. A Jedi confronts darkness without becoming it. A Jedi trusts in the living Force. and that compassion is stronger than fear. So one of the things that Hawkins, we're basing this on the Power versus Force on David Hawkins' work in his book. And one of the things that he talks about in his book is what power versus force does to our body. And he did some muscle studies. He used kinesiology, muscle testing, and he claimed that truth and higher states of consciousness strengthen the body, where falsehood and fear lowers or weakens it. So what he found is that when you're using force constricts, contracts the body. So force like shame, guilt, apathy, fear, grief, anger, those are all things that create muscle tension, shallow breath, increased stress, we tighten, we feel the muscles tighten in the back of our neck and our back, and creates pain. And in that stress, we experience reduced immune functionality. We get tired because we're carrying that energy, right? But under power, we experience something different. In the power, we're able to relax. And when we are able to relax, we expand. Just by the function of being able to relax. So in that relaxed state, we're able to breathe deeper. We're able to improve our nervous system regulation, increase our resilience, greater vitality, better recovery from stress, and we enhance our feelings of well-being. And the same thing happens in our nervous system. Force creates this fight, flight, or freeze, whereas rest or power activates the rest, digest, heal, connect. And unity, the interpretation the perspective of unity is power is not something we create through effort. It is a natural expression of the Christ consciousness, the Christ presence within us. When we align with love, wisdom, faith, and understanding, the body often reflects that alignment through a greater peace and sensitivity. Where force will create strain, power flows. Force will leave us exhausted, where power will leave us energized, even when the work is challenging. When we are resolved in the knowing of who we are able to rest. When we know who we are and what we're for, we can rest in that. Think of a lion. A lion just sits there. It knows. If you go up to it, it's just going to sit there and look at you. It can take you out like that. I had an old mentor a long time ago when I was going into insurance, and I was commenting about all these guys that was in insurance, and they had all these initials after their names, CHFCC, blah blah blah, all these initials. And I was like, well, my card doesn't have anything on it. It just says Jeff Tawney. And he says to me, son, you ever been to the zoo? The spider monkey's got the longest tail. The gorilla, he don't need a tail. Everybody knows who the gorilla is. And so the lesson to me was to be so solid in what in my knowing and my understanding and my truth and who I was and what I represented, rather than spending all this time getting all these initials, creating a tale that really didn't do anything other than just create a knowledge in my head, right? It didn't give me the confidence. So think of it this way, in an everyday task, and this is a good example, right? I have this habit of leaving my glasses at different places. So on any of my glasses, I create this, where are my glasses? Where if I put my glasses on my head or around my neck, I would never have this panic of where my glasses are. 5 minutes before the service started, I'm like, where's my glasses? I go in my office, they're not there. I got to dig through my drawer, find up a backup pair to get the backup pair put on. And here I sit, and they're right there. Now, if I had the knowing that I always had them sitting on the chair, I would be able to relax and go, I don't need to worry, they're at the chair where I left them. Well, where are my keys? How many times we're like, where are my keys? Where did I leave my keys? Where are my keys? Did I set them over here? Did I put them over there? We get that panic. But if we come in every day, I have a hook, I put the keys on the hook. I never have to worry about where my keys are. They're always on the hook. There's that knowing, right? There's a power in that knowing. What about paying a bill? How many of us have waked up and gone, oh, did I pay that bill? Crap, did I pay it? Is it going to be late? If you have your bill set up on auto pay, you don't ever have to worry about that. Just like, they're paid. I don't have to look at my checkbook. I don't have to go to my bank account. There's a power in the knowing. So let's take a look at, this is near and dear to all of us, right? Our relationships. Relationship with one another, our relationships with our partner, our relationships with our parents, our relationships with our kids, our relationships with anyone, right? There's two sides to the relationship. Let's call these our two operating systems. There's the operating system of force. There's the operating system of power. In the operating system of force, there's manipulation, there's guilt, there's guilt trips, there's silence, there's keeping score, there's trying to change the other person. That's the operating system of fear, of force. Then you have the operating system of power. And that operating system always works with honest communication. It always works with respecting differences. It always works with loving without any expectation or any control. Now, it would be great if we could sit here and say that we operate in we have one or the other, but life isn't that way. We can have one relationship where we operate in power, and then we can have other relationships that operate out of force, where we got to control it.
Or we can have the same relationship. It goes back and forth.
It does, yeah. So last week I introduced this to you guys. If you weren't here or you don't have a copy, I have some more copies here of this Hawkins map of consciousness. And as I was looking at this, I was thinking to myself that, we look at this as a linear thing, right? And you could look at it and go, well, I'm not gravitating up, I'm not moving up. And so, because there's times when I'm at home and I'm comfortable and I'm in my bliss. And then there's other times when I'm out experiencing life and I'm not. I'm down below someplace. It's not an all or nothing thing. What it really should look like is it should look like this. Now let's put your eyes on that for a second. You can see that if for those of you technical guys, this looks like an equalizer, like a soundboard, right? And so with that equalizer, on one side you have shame, and as you move across the soundboard, you get to the point of enlightenment. And in any situation, that thing is always adjusting. Now, Byron and Chris back there, they have a couple of those devices back there that they're constantly working with, right? And we'll come early in the morning, they'll come early in the morning, and they'll start doing rehearsal, and they'll be adjusting things, and there's so much going on up here, you have no idea what they're adjusting. And then as bodies come into the room, the sound changes, and they've got to tweak it. It's never a one and done. And sometimes it's this tweak, and this room is so difficult for sound. It's horrible for sound, love the room, but like from a sound engineer standpoint, this is extremely difficult because it can sound one way where Chris is standing, and as soon as Chris changes his location and moves to a different portion, the sound sounds completely different. Now imagine Chris sets up his life, and he's got all of his attunement, right? And then he steps into another situation in life, right? And now all of a sudden, everything that he had set up is completely changed. Maybe it's strategy, maybe it's values, maybe it's goals. All of that changes based upon his position. And that's the way life is for us. Where this equalizer, this consciousness equalizer, is situational, depending on what we're doing and what we're involved in. Anybody got a boat? Who's got a boat? Tawney? Yeah. Okay. So if you've ever driven a boat, you know that when you take off from the shore, like depending on the speed, the boat's motor when it first takes off is going to get way up in the air, or the bow of the boat is going to get way up in the air, right? Until the boat gets to a certain speed. Now, if you're the operator of the boat and you have the kind of controls, you can trim that boat out. In other words, you're going to change the angle of the propeller so that the front of that boat comes down. And if you're pretty crafty, you can do that as you accelerate. So as you're accelerating and applying power, that motor comes down. And you get the boat trimmed out to a point where the boat is skimming across the water. That trim is going to change based upon the amount of weight in the boat, the water conditions, the force, the speed. All of that changes. So you've got to constantly be adapting. And that's the way our life is. If we're going to have the power, we have the power to make those adjustments and fine-tune life as it goes. It's never one particular strategy. It's multiples. Now there comes a point when we go back and looking at that consciousness map. There comes a point where there's that turning point or that tipping point in our relationships. And Hawkins points at that tipping point is at the point of courage. That's where the shift can occur. In other words, that's the point that we choose to make choose something different. Before courage, down below, life is governed by shame, guilt, fear, anger, and pride. And I'm going to call that the ego's realm. Right? That's the realm in which you start to question. You think, oh, my partner got a message and, who's that from? We question it, and it's like in our knowing, it's like, I know who they are. I know that there's nothing going on. But the ego goes, but do you really know? Do you really know? So that's the realm of the ego. And then when we get up on the upper side of that, that's the realm of that's the realm I'm getting ahead of myself here. Courage asks us to look honestly at ourselves, to admit what is not working. I overheard a conversation this morning, and I had a conversation with Melissa. And one of the things I heard in the hallway was, I won't share everything I heard, but Melissa was talking about how there came this tipping point where she wanted to break the cycle that was happening in her family. She could have continued down this path of her life, right? And just lived her life out that way. But there came that point where she's like, nope, I need to break the cycle of this. And I need to do something different. I need to make better choices and take control of what was happening. Not control in a way where she's trying to control everything, but change the direction and have the courage to change that direction. In addiction, we call that rock bottom. You get to the bottom point where you're like, nope, not going to live like this anymore. I need to change my life, and this is a result of that. That is where we make that change from being in a force, being a victim of force, and actually standing and taking control, taking our power. Now, we can avoid the pitfalls of force when we notice how we feel or our need to be in control. There's a difference in taking control of something or being in control. We can choose a response over reaction. So we can choose to do something different than we normally would. As in the story of Chris's daughter, Tara, that chose to just respond with kindness versus aggression. We can stay in alignment with our integrity and the integrity of our values, our goals, our desires, our character, our passions. We stay in that integrity of that. We can release the need to be right. Oh boy, that's a hard one, right? The ego wants to be right all the time. And yet Spirit is always saying, it's okay. You don't need to be right. I got this. I'll take care of you. We can find those opportunities to practice compassion like we did yesterday. It was amazing to be a part of all of that. And John, I'll say it, John. Oh, sorry, I'm going to out you. But John was moved to tears yesterday. And he's like, everybody here is so happy. Everybody here is so, like, it's a day where everybody can just be who they are. And yet there's a group of people there that are with the bullhorns, and you're all going to, you know what, and all that kind of thing, right? Creating that energy. And John told me, he's like, why do people want to do that? Like, everybody here is getting along, is so happy and is joy, and yet here comes this group of people that want to completely take that away. We can get in a position where we let go of outcomes, where we think we're going to try to control things and control the outcome of something, right? See how that works? What's that? You feel called out?
Me too.
I think I've shared this. A friend of mine, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was in a parking lot. I know exactly where I was on this day, probably 15, 20 years ago. And he was just sharing with me where he was. He was really struggling, like at the verge of like, I don't even know what I'm going to do in my life right now. And in his desperation, he said one of the most profound things I've ever heard. He said, Jeff, I'm just trying to keep my hopes in Christ and not in outcomes. And I'm like, what? I'm just trying to keep my hope in Christ and not in outcomes. And I was like, wow, that is so profound. And that was just coming out of his despair. And when we look at Jesus and the power of force versus the power of force, when he was attacked, he responded with compassion. When he was challenged, he responded with wisdom. When he was betrayed, he responded with forgiveness. The world expected force, right? The world expected something different. The world expected overthrow the government and all that sort of thing. I'll bet you we wouldn't even know who Constantine was had it not been for Jesus. We wouldn't even be talking about Constantine. He would just be another Roman emperor. But in Jesus' passivity, into his courage, and in his desire not to take the higher ground, we stand here 2,000 years later, and we're talking about a man who didn't conquer, but overcame. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. And yet all those rulers tried to conquer and all of that. And we'll wonder thousands of years later how that world will look at us today. How will they see us? My friends, in unity, we talk about the 12 powers, and I'm not going to get in depth in this because I don't have time. But there are 12 powers that we recognize in unity. In unity, we recognize the power of love, the power of imagination, understanding, will, grace, wisdom, zeal, release, life, strength, faith, and acceptance. Those are part of the 12 powers, and we'll talk more about those. Another way to look at power is this. Power can be like a fragrance in which it attracts. Has anybody got problems with fragrances? No? One? Okay. Kimmy, would you, right here. So the running joke is, just don't spray over on this side. I want you to smell this. Go ahead, Kimmy, just. Yeah. Can you smell that? What does that scent do for you? Does it bring back a memory? Yeah? The joke is that I had that sitting up here this morning, so I was going to use it. And Wendy pulls it up and says to Kimmy, well, you're looking, well, I don't know what she said, but she basically proceeds to douse Kimmy in that rose spray. So Kimmy walks down the hallway, and I'm like, whoa! Actually, I use that at home. Before I go to bed at night, I spray my bed with the rose scent because it's so calming for me, and it reminds me of my grandmother. Right? Isn't that powerful? It's not forcing me to do anything. It's attracting me. Power is attraction. It can attract. Now put another scent in the room, and we're all going to be running from it. What scent do we want to have in the world? Do we want a scent of attraction, a scent of power, and resting in this knowing? Or do we want to give off this fragrance of fear, of force? That's like garlic, right? Someone with a strong... what happens when someone's got a strong garlic breath, right? You're like, whoa! It's repelling. There's so much about this power versus force, and I think that the bottom line is we have the ability to choose. We have the ability to come to that point where we can change what we want to be. Each of us have the ability to control all the little knobs as it relates to how we're going to approach a situation or be in a situation. That's our opportunity. That's our opportunity to stay curious and be a blessing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. I chose the song Power of Kindness because, well, power. Kindness is up there with love. I invite you all to sing the chorus with us. There's a few verses, but I'm gonna bring you in on the chorus. And so we're gonna start with the chorus twice. And then we'll move on, and when you hear it, pipe in. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. We don't know what's coming, but we can help shape what's ahead. With kindness as our currency, the Commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Look up now, people, keep your ears to the ground. We are the river flowing, generosity abounds. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. Honeybee serves sweetness only to help the world bloom, bringing love to the flower, from the flower to the fruit. You can learn a thing or two. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. We don't know what's coming, but we can help shape what's ahead. With kindness as our currency, the Commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. And thank you, Chris and Byron. Way to go today. And thanks for Jeff for sharing this whole power piece. Kind of what comes to mind yesterday is, Jeff knows I don't mind him throwing me under the bus now, getting used to it. But, but yesterday, I'm a little too young to really be a part of the whole 60s love movement, but that is what it was like. Love was everywhere. God was everywhere. But more than anything, there was not only a power in these people showing up and just being whoever they wanted to be, there was freedom. There was this freedom that just, it was breathtaking. And though I didn't cry, but I could now, John. So, thank you. Thank you all. Now we're going to do tithing. So, I'm going to invite you. Online, you can do the online donations. You can mail your checks. But if you're here in person, I'm going to invite you to take your gift or take your sacred if you already give like your monthly thing, your little gift cards. There should be some in the back of your pockets in the chair in front of you. And bring it to your heart. And just know that no matter what, whether you're sending the intention of love, gift of abundance, all of it. And just know you're sharing, and it's going to multiply more than we can ever imagine. Okay, ushers, please come forward. Okay, so join me in blessing our love offering today. Divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
So it is.
So next, I just want to talk about, you have these in the back of your seat. If you're new to Unity, the purple one, if you want to sign it up, you can get announcements. You can sign up for our website or our email list. Blue one's prayer request. Oh, sorry. Blue one is prayer request, and then the yellow one is more about us. We also have volunteer opportunities, and so if you're interested in helping more, it's a really great way to connect more with your community and help support us in every way. So was another opportunity. And so if you're interested in that, please reach out to Jeff or Wendy. I think those are the best people to kind of contact. And then the prayer requests are going to go in the box over here. There's also more little slips over here. Those prayers are going to be prayed upon for 30 days here and then 30 days at Unity. What's that called? Silent Unity. Thank you. I always forget that. And join me in the statement, peace. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many worship of God. For there is only one power and presence of God, and that God loves each and every equally. Unity urges all nations, their leaders, their people, to pursue peace, not war. For this is what honors the God of all of our faiths. And then we're into children. Announcements. Sorry, skip that part. Okay, so join us the second Sunday of the month for our Sacred Support Circle, a time of connection and holding space. Awakening Intuition and Energy Essential Workshop. And this class starts tomorrow night. It's 3 Mondays, and we're going to learn more about how to connect deeper with your intuition and more pieces of that and what that looks like and how each and every one of you can cultivate that yourselves within your lives. And then Energy Essentials is kind of like more about energy boundaries, about how to protect your energy, how to dump energy when you're in different situations, especially if you're an empath and you're feeling other people's feelings and stuff like that. So, yeah, registration ends today. Unity Mahjong Game Night, Wednesday, June 17th. That's this next Wednesday.
This coming Wednesday,
Yep.
5:30 to 8:30.
Yep.
We've had people in the community that reached out to us that were interested in doing Mahjong last time. And so we're doing Mahjong on Wednesday. It'll be this third Wednesday every month.
Third Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't even know anything about Mahjong. You've never played before? Come join us. It's a great time.
So family movie night, June 19th, which is this next Friday. 5:30 to 8, right here. Come and join us.
Has anybody seen this movie? Yes. If you've seen it, you want to come and see it again. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
And you haven't seen it with all of us together.
Very heartfelt. Yeah. Unity North Yard Sale, Saturday, June 27th. So start bringing your stuff. We're going to take donations for household goods. So start bringing it. We'll store it. And if anybody wants to volunteer and help that day, we need some people for that too.
Bring it to your house.
Not my house. Okay, spinal maintenance, Qigong practice. That happens on Sunday mornings before service from 10 to 10:30, and that's led by Mert and Melissa. And that's really gets you moving and gets you kind of grounded before church even starts. It's a great thing.
Oh, actually, I have one more announcement before we move on. So Lancer and I, on June 28th, 6 p.m. here, we are doing a sound bath with the Himalayan bowls, which you listened to today during meditation, and we have a ton of other sound instruments that we play. So, thank you.
It's amazing. I just want to say, because we forgot to get a slide in there for that. We're going to do it. We're going to try something different. Normally, we would do this like Saturday in the middle, like mid-morning, 11 o'clock or whatever, and it kind of breaks up the whole weekend. So we thought, why not offer it toward the tail end of the weekend on Sunday? So we have a chance, like, go and live our lives on Sunday, and then come back in the evening, and then have a nice, relaxing sound bath, and get ready for the following week. So we're going to try this. I think this is the right way to do it. And sound baths, you know, if you experienced something this morning in the meditation, where you were hearing the sound of the water and the tones, like, it takes you to a different place. So that's your opportunity. So, and those two do an amazing job with sets.
And I just want to throw in a few more things, because with sound bath, do you guys lay on the floor or sit in the chairs?
Lay on the floor.
Lay on the floor. So if you want to bring a blanket or pillows or anything to make you comfortable while you experience that, but it's a pretty profound thing, and it can be life-changing. So,
Thank you. Yes.
we are ready for our kiddos. So,
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God.
okay, Lucky. What'd you do today? You want to share?
And it shows it like make sure like everyone's is different because everyone is different, and like it represents love and something else.
Acceptance and love. Acceptance and love. She has something that she wanted to read.
The rainbow only works because the different colors stand right next to each other. Red doesn't tell blue to leave. Yellow doesn't ignore green. They accept each other to make something beautiful. God made people the exact same way. He created us different on purpose.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Wow. I love that. And so I just want to, I want to say thank you for you being here today.
Yeah.
She had a really bad fall yesterday. Like, she was walking the dog, and they were going downhill, and the dog decided to run and yanked her and drug her down the hill. And when I heard what had happened, I cringed, and then when she showed up, I was so blessed that you're here. So we're glad you're safe. And we're going to pray for your healing and your recovery, and that the dog is calmer next time. All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's
so
bless them.
be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near.
For yourself,
Be the love we are, sing the song we hear, share our joy of life with people far and near.
Thank you, guys.
All
You
right.
Go find your
If
family.
everybody
Go
join, stand up for the peace.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be my moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Right. And we all together join me in the prayer protection. The light of God influences us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the power of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and that's the truth.